Hey guys, what is up? This is Mr. A. Chrissy here, and in today's movie review, I'm going to be doing a movie review on the new Ghostbusters film, which just came out last night. And of course, me and my parents just got back from seeing it last night. And this review is on Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. In Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, the Spangler family decide to leave Somerville, Oklahoma, and go back to where it all started at the iconic New York City firehouse known as the Ghostbusters. And help the original Ghostbusters, like the OG Ghostbusters, who've developed a top secret research lab to take busting ghosts to the next level. But when the discovery of an ancient like frozen creature of some sort unleashes an evil force to freeze the entire city in New York City, like the Ghostbusters, old and new, they must join forces to protect their home and save the world from a second ice age. Yeah. And of course, that both the original and the new Ghostbusters, they have to try and stop the frozen evil creature from freezing New York City, and of course the whole world, which kind of almost reminds me of that disaster film, The Day After Tomorrow, but that's a different movie. So anyway, so last night me and my parents went and saw this movie at Cinemark, and when I first heard that there was going to be like another Ghostbusters film that was going to follow up, like as a follow up to Afterlife, I actually still enjoyed Afterlife. I thought Afterlife, I thought it was a pretty good third installment in the Ghostbusters franchise, and it's actually the main third installment of the franchise as well. Like it's actually like, because Ghostbusters Afterlife is actually the real Ghostbusters 3. And speaking of which, my parents actually watched Afterlife and they actually liked it. And yeah, and of course I remember seeing Afterlife with my social group back in 2021. And how does this movie play out? Ghostbusters Frozen Empire? Like I remember it was supposed to come out like it was supposed to come out last December in 2023, but of course due to the strikes it had to be delayed to March of this year. And now that it's already out, I can probably say Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is not as good as Afterlife. But I thought it was a decent enough film. Excuse me. And plus, and not to mention, I did not really expect this film to be amazing, of course, because it's no masterpiece or anything, that's for sure. Because I would just expect this movie as a fun Ghostbusters film, and yeah. And some of the scenes that were in this film, some of them like rely on nostalgia, and that's kind of the main reason why people did not like Afterlife, since it relied on nostalgia. And the same thing goes to this movie, because this movie was probably just made because Afterlife was a success at the box office, and of course this and Afterlife were made for nostalgia, and it's mostly like. And it's like how some of the scenes involved in this film were actually like some jokes and puns that the audience laughed at during my screening. And but most of the comedic lines are mostly just like comedic lines and puns and jokes like shoved into your face, and it's like, and of course, and there are some times in this movie where it does get a little serious, but of course not the right way. But aside from all that, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire was still a pretty decent film in my opinion. I kind of liked it. My mom also liked the film too. And let's not forget about the actors, like, because the cast is usually the best part in films, like, because all the actors in the film, including like they all do a fine enough job in the film, especially the OG Ghostbusters, like Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, Annie Potts, and oh yeah, McKenna Grace. McKenna Grace is fun, is kind of fine to see on screen whenever she's in like she was in Afterlife. Like McKenna Grace, I thought was fine in the film, like she was in Afterlife. And oh yeah, and of course Paul Rudd, who was also in Afterlife. Yeah, Paul Rudd I thought was pretty good in the film. And Patton Oswalt, yeah, Patton Oswalt was also in the film too. Like we saw him in the trailers. Like Patton Oswalt was fun to see. And also, the director of this film is actually from the same director of Monster House, which I actually remember seeing Monster House in theaters. And yeah, because it's actually Gil Kennan. Gil Kennan was actually the director of Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. And he was previously one of the writers, and he was like one of the writers of Afterlife. And yeah, Gil Kennan also directed City of Ember, which I still have not seen City of Ember yet. And yeah, Gil Kennan also directed that piece of crap remake Poltergeist, the 2015 Poltergeist, which looks like crap. Yeah, I gotta say the original Poltergeist is still the best one. But as for this movie I thought, like I said, was decent enough, and even though some of the scenes were basically just relied on nostalgia, and whenever it gets to like to some of the serious parts. But sometimes you can have the serious parts, but only if it's done in the right way and on purpose, of course. Like if it's done on purpose, then only if it's done the right way. And oh yeah, and of course one of the screenwriters of the film was also, and of course the screenwriter to Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire was also Jason Reitman. Jason Reitman, who directed Afterlife, and he's like Ivan Reitman's son. And oh yeah, and of course this movie was also dedicated to Ivan Reitman as well. Yeah, because Ivan Reitman passed away in 2022, and this film was dedicated to his memory. Yeah, and I gotta say, I think the visual effects I think the visual effects on the ice and icicles and whenever New York City was about to freeze up, like we saw at the beginning of the trailer. I thought the visual effects on like the ice, the freezing ice and the icicles, I thought that was pretty cool in my opinion, from my perspective and point of view. And yeah, and of course, I think this is also the second Sony Pictures release to use the 100th anniversary Columbia Pictures logo. The first was Madam Web, and I gotta say, I enjoyed this film more than Madam Web, and of course, it's also from the Ghostbusters company, Ghost Corps, and yeah, if we do get another Ghostbusters film, then I think if this movie makes a good enough money, then I think we might possibly get another Ghostbusters film, because I think Gil Kennan actually said that he actually has plans to make more sequels to make more Ghostbusters films after Frozen Empire. Even though some people think Afterlife should have been its own thing, like Ghostbusters would have remained a trilogy if we're not counting the 2016 main female lead Ghostbusters film, which came out in 2016. Which I didn't really mind the 2016 Ghostbusters film with the girls, like the women. But I'm just here to talk about Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire, just to share my honest thoughts on the film. So, overall, Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire was a pretty decent film. And I'm going to give Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire 3.5 out of 5 stars. Excuse me. If you're in for another Ghostbusters film, then I say go ahead and see this film. Or if you do have a movie theater that's playing the Pixar movie Luca, then if you want to check out Luca just like you did with Soul and Turning Red, then I recommend checking out Luca. Or if you don't really feel like seeing Luca on the big screen since you already saw it on Disney Plus, like at the time it came out, then and if you're more used to seeing like new releases that are back in theaters, then I recommend checking out Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire. Like if you're in for another Ghostbusters film, then I recommend checking out this film. And there you have it, guys. That's going to be it for my movie review. Excuse me. That's going to be it for my movie review on Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire. And that's going to be it for this video, so make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. And as always, thanks for watching, and until next time, this is Mr. A. Crizzy saying goodbye, everybody, and that's about it.